Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So, as you could tell by the title of today's video, it will be about me trying to answer the question, when or will winter arrive early this year? So, if you like these type of videos, I've been making, I think this video in particular, it's on its second year. I made one last year about last year's winter, and, it was fairly accurate. But obviously, no forecast is 100% accurate. So, this one obviously will not be either, but I'm going to try my best. So, consider subscribing if you enjoy this channel, if you've been watching me for several videos already, and you feel like subscribing is a choice or the right thing to do, then consider doing so. If you're new, consider checking out my channel. I do weather videos. So really, I would, consider doing that. Also consider liking the video after watching. So thank you for that. Or if you already watched many of my videos and you know that they're pretty good, you could like it right away. So let's just get into this and start talking. So right now you may be wondering, why am I at Tropical Tidbits? Why am I showing you the weather models when we're talking about like winter arriving early? Well, it basically, I mean, if if you're up with the weather, you know that it's very warm across the eastern U.S., the southern U.S., the central U.S. as well. It's chilly across the northwest, but it's across only like anywhere northwest of this area, maybe in these areas as well. But like here, it's pretty warm, and it will continue to be pretty warm for the next several days, maybe even like one to 2 weeks. So, winter obviously won't be arriving in that time frame. But my point is that once it does at least go, because look at some of these temperatures. Let me give you an example. Like, this is Wednesday, Thursday. So let's just take a look at this. I mean, this is Monday 23rd. Some of these temperature anomalies are running 12 to 15 degrees above average. So if you're normally experiencing 65 degrees and you're 15 degrees above average, you're experiencing 80 degrees, which is very warm for September, almost October. Now, if you get a cool blast of air, after this passes through, maybe you'll get a cool off, like right here, you can see it, and it's one of these. I'm not saying this one in particular will make its way this way, but if you get one of just any sort of blast of air into the places where it was 80 degrees, 15 degrees above average, and you get an air mass that brings temperatures 50 degrees below average, you get a drop from 80 degrees to 80, 65 minus 15. That would be all the way to 50 degrees. From 80 to 15 degrees, a 30 degree difference. So, if you go from 80 to 50 within a short amount of time, many people will classify that as fall definitely arriving early, or fall's arrival. And by the way, this video is getting recorded 10:26 p.m. as of September 22nd, while fall will start in a couple of hours at 2:50 a.m. So this is kind of like my last summer's video, if you will, astronomically, which is kind of cool. But basically what I'm saying is, we're right now very above average, so no one's really thinking about winter. But I mean, you can see some of these anomalies are going to be great. I mean, it's 15 to 20 degrees above average, while the chill remains in the northwest, and the storms ride along this baroclinic zone, and these two air masses are fighting it out. I mean, look at those contrasts. They are just battling it out, and finally the chilly air wins out. You can see it dips down into Nebraska, into the central plains, while the the warm concentrates into the east. Then we get again a little bit of more of a mediocre pattern where it's not really hot or cold, or above average or below average in extremes. So basically what I'm saying by this is, we could, we're looking at a warm pattern now, but we could quickly start looking at a chillier pattern going into October. And if this does, take hold, we could be looking at some early snowfall, coming with these Arctic blasts or chillier blasts of air, and that will classify as winter arriving early. So as of now, the next week or two, no really signs of early winter, But I mean, look at this. Like for example, this snowstorm right here that they're showing, it's far out. You know, obviously differences. There will be changes, but the models have been fairly advocating this system. And you can see some, probably some hefty amounts across Nebraska and Wyoming. This would produce. And if we go to the total snowfall, this would again produce snow across much of the state of Wyoming, western Nebraska, southern South Dakota, northern Colorado, and basically the higher elevated areas. We could definitely see early winter across these areas because due to the chill being across the northwest. But across the east, for the next several weeks, winter is not going to make any signs. But we could get that sudden shift, basically, because right now we don't know exactly when it's going to cool off, but if it does cool off, say October 10th, just a random date I chose, then, it will go from really above average to really below average in a matter of short time, and people may be like, oh, fall, almost winter is here, especially since there will be some frosts occurring with this. So I made, like, this presentation, and I want to, like, present this to you, basically some other information, other than the long range models, some statistical research, I guess, some ENSO, basically the ENSO. I think I also showed that's basically all I showed, and I think one other, and the NOAA seasonal outlook as well, what they're thinking. But at this point, you could see it. If I were to say if would to arrive early in what location, I would say right now the northwest seems the most likely because of those below average temperatures, and the east and the southeast. It's still not out of the question because this warm pattern will not continue way into October, November. It seems there will be some breaks. It will be more interrupted. But also another factor is the new ENSO, and it will be an ENSO neutral through the northern hemisphere winter basically and fall, and when we talk about fall or winter arriving early, we're looking at that October-November time frame, whereas arriving normally would be like that November-December time frame. So we want to see what a neutral pattern not only looks like during the winter, which you could see cold across the east and northeast, and wet and warm across the south, which could obviously produce big snows across the northeast and the south, however, as well. If you watched my previous video, I talked about it, but also what it looks during the fall. And you can see this is for the month of November, a bunch of neutral falls with the ENSO neutron. This is what they're looking like. You could see very, very chilly temperatures possibly for November, and I think that that's a good chance this year because the winter will be similar to last year's winter in its characteristics. Like the coldest time frame will probably be February as well. And you remember last year's November was very chilly. It was pretty warm up until October, and then it got really chilly. So we'll have to see how exactly that pans out. But right now, again, they're showing there is some signs that the fall it will quickly turn from a warm, sunny or warm above average temperature winter or fall, like the time frame right now, late summer and fall, to a possibly cold and chilly early winter across the east. Even though this video is kind of getting put out in the wrong time frame because many folks right now are not even thinking about even fall, despite fall's arrival in a couple of hours as of recording this video, because of the above average temperatures that are occurring and that will occur across the eastern 2/3 of the country, while the northwest will see some snow, some first early snow. So for the northwest, winter will arrive early, and I do think that for the central U.S., it will arrive early as well. Just maybe not in the next 2 to 3 weeks, which usually it wouldn't even arrive even if it was an early winter. This is NOAA's 3 to 4 week outlook. This extends from October 5th through the 18th, and you can see they're showing below average temperatures for like the northern portions of the country, while equal chances a little bit further south and a warmer air suppressed further to the south. Will this occur? I don't know. It is tough to say. I may make a separate video on this. At this point, it seems like these coldest conditions will be reserved for the latter part of, or the latter extreme latter part of September, like the last couple of days of September or early October at the very earliest. Because if you look at NOAA's 1 month outlook for October, they're showing very warm temperatures across or above average conditions for the whole country, which I don't think will be the case, but they're kind of contradicting themselves here, which is it may seem silly, but in weather that often happens where one forecast may not add up to the other forecast. So we'll see exactly what occurs and when it does. So if you're looking for an answer, I did not do a final map for this one because I was just really busy today and I did not have time to do it. But if I were to make a map of the U.S., where the early winter would be, I would definitely say this part of the country right here would probably have an early winter. The winter would come early as well as this part. For sure, I'm rather confident about that. Cold early winter. This part of the country, for now, is going to be warm. However, I definitely think if this pattern breaks down, we could quickly see a shift into a winter pattern. So I would say this part of the country as well could see an early winter, maybe the northeast as well. The south, I think, will have, definitely not as warm temperatures as they're having now, but an early winter, it's tough to say what's an early winter in the south because usually it feels like summer or fall there up until like November, December, and then we see like a sudden switch. So that's good. That's kind of tough to say because folks down there don't really, I mean, in the north, usually early winter means first snow, first frost. In the south, yeah, similar standards, but usually that's like in December, which by then winter is already well underway. So that's it. What I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all guys on the next episode. See ya. Bye.